We are in the city of bridges, Saskatoon, and for some teams, they have no bridges left to burn if they hope to make the playoffs. Thursday night, draw 17. It's become a tradition. They're going to run this back. There they go, and count them up. 3 for Alberta. On this night, 2 of the very best compete, and quite often to see who is the very best. Now you got to touch that red up. Run. Yeah! Got it. They're favorites. They're winners. They're champions. Alberta, Ontario. The time has come. So here we go. Draw 17 is coming up, but this afternoon in draw 16, Manitoba locked up a playoff spot as Rob Fowler won 10-4 over Northern Ontario and hurt Northern Ontario's chances. Brad Jacobs from the Sioux losing his 5th, and now he's in position where he has to win, and he's going to need some help. But this is the kind of shot we've expected from Fowler, and he is now into the Final Four. Alberta tuned up for tonight's game with an 8-3 win over Nova Scotia. Newfoundland Labrador with a 10-5 win. They beat PEI. And BC's Jim Carter. He was light on a last rock in 10 to tie. He loses 7-5 to New Brunswick, and so that means he's out. Ontario will be in that 1-2 game. Alberta, if they win, they will be first. If they lose, Manitoba will take over second place because last night Manitoba beat Kevin Cooey. And Northwest Territories' Jamie Cooey from Yellowknife win, and he's into the Final Four. As on this Thursday night, we say hello, Canada, and welcome back to our continuing coverage of the Hortons Brier. Always my favorite night. Linda and Russ alongside. Okay, here they are, Ontario, Alberta. When we started this last Saturday, we expected them to be here, be battling for the 1-2 spot because they simply are the best.
Simply the best. When you look at the stats, of course, they're at the very top. A little strange, though, how they got there. Ontario, a very slow start to this Brier, and they had a lot of extra end victories to start to climb up those standings. But now they are really doing well. Glenn Howard, of course, we know how he can draw. He is building the points that he wasn't doing at the beginning of the week. If you talk about the 2 teams, best all week in the categories of plus minus. That's how they played against the opposition teams. Shooting percentages of the skips and the teams. The funny thing about Kevin Cooey is he looked like he was on cruise control, and now, Vic, he is really trying to claw into those playoffs.
If you're looking for little things, maybe it's at the 3rd position. I only say that because of the fact that Pat Simmons, who throws the 3rd stone for Cooey, has been ill.
Yeah, he has, Vic, and he's 2 different halves for Pat. The first half was incredible, 2 points ahead of any other third here. He then became sick, and his numbers are slowly dropping. He's still sick. You look at Wayne Madaw, the exact opposite. Wayne started incredibly slow. They could have lost their first 5 games, Ontario, and he's going the other direction, and now you look, he's number 1.
So that is our featured game. Ontario, Alberta will also keep a close eye on Kevin's brother, Jamie from Yellowknife. A win, and he's into the Final Four.
I just don't think we're, as pretty or as consistent as like Glenn Howard. Those guys are like machines. We're probably don't throw as high percentages routinely like them, but we make the shots when it counts, and we can, make some big shots to get out of trouble, and somehow we find a way to win some ugly games.
The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by a Roll Up the Rim to Win. It's time for Tim's. The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Ford, official automotive partner of the Canadian Curling Association, by M&M Meat Shops, hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle, and by Cashmere Bathroom Tissue. Nothing feels like cashmere.
Final night, round robin. Lots of eyes on sheet A as Jamie Cooey and the Territories. A win they're in, and Oh, poor BC and Jim Cotter. Can he bounce back, play spoiler after losing that heartbreaker earlier today to take himself out of it? Quebec, Newfoundland, Labrador will play out the string on Sheet B. Our featured game is on Sheet C. And Northern Ontario, Brad Jacobs, he must win, and then he needs a loss by the Territories to force a tiebreaker. And it'll be the final game for Saskatchewan's Scott Manners out of Battleford in his first Brier appearance. So it is Ontario, Alberta, two of the very best. Let's meet the teams now. Brought to you by Ford. Drive one.
Hi, I'm Glenn Howard, skip of Team Ontario. Our lead is Craig Saville, our second is Brent Lang, our third is Wayne McGaw, and we curl out of the Coldwater and District Curling Club.
Hi, I'm Kevin Cooey, skip of Team Alberta. Our lead is Nolan Thiessen, second Carter Rycroft, third Pat Simmons, and we curl out of the Glencoe Curling Club in Calgary.
And in the opening end, Alberta won the draw to the button. So it will be Kevin Cooey that does have the last rock playing the Yellowstones. Ontario and Glenn Howard will play the red here to get us underway in this much anticipated final round robin game. Is the Ontario lead, Craig Saville.
Hard line, a little tight.
It really is an interesting story for these two teams and how they arrived at this position. And really, I think at the beginning of the week, Glenn was shaking his head a lot. He was the one struggling with the ice and stones. And now it's Kevin Cooey who maybe is a little on edge for the position he is in.
Could try out some wacky stuff tonight.
Struggling with health, too, with Pat Simmons, we mentioned at the top of the show. Very, very sick. He's played every game, though. There was rumors he was going to miss a game yesterday. He showed up at the last minute and played. He's a real trooper. And you could say the same about Craig Saville for Ontario. He was pretty ill at the start of the week.
Wall there. Wall there. Stop 8. Clean.
So there are two teams, of course, that know each other very well. Linda, they met, of course, 2 years ago in the championship final. What do you think the game plan is for the team from Coldwater?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt. Both teams like to be aggressive, so they should stay aggressive. But for Ontario, you have to avoid leaving run backs for multiple scores. We know the Cooey team. We know that they can make those shots. So if you have a choice between guarding a single rock and putting another one in the house, maybe think about having that second shot in position.
Now, 2 years ago, Cooey, of course, came through the 3-4 game to win the championship, so it wouldn't be unfamiliar territory for him.
But he wants to be aggressive to start. He wants to go out and win this game. The only problem may be Pat Simmons and his health. Last night when they played, Pat struggled with draw weight because of that feel. When you're not feeling well, it's hard to have those muscles work for you. He's playing the hits fine, so you might have to pull back a little bit with Pat.
Shot.
Assume they cranked it.
Looked like it.
And it is a credit to Pat and Craig, actually, for the way they've played. There's been a lot of flu this year with the Scotties and the Brier, and they're two that have really handled it amazingly well.
Yep. Hard.
The interesting part when we watch these two teams play, the center guard did go up, and now we're seeing some more open play. And we often say about strategy, you're going to try and get the rocks in the right spot. Both of them respect each other and know they're probably not going to outthink the other skip. So it really does come down for Glenn and for Kevin to get those front stones, lead and second rocks in the right spot.
Yeah, there's no fooling each other here. It's all about execution and winning that battle of angles, winning those hits and rolls. And there can be a lot of run backs in this game, a lot of good finesse shots. And it's all about execution.
Just control.
It is interesting, though, that two of the storylines coming into this game is about the illness, the front-end illness, and, of course, that of Pat Simmons, as we say good evening to Kathy Gauthier.
Hey, Vic. Well, first of all, on Pat Simmons, the antibiotics have kicked in. He was given them yesterday for a chest infection. They've had over 36 hours to work, and we're working really well. And when you watch the front end tonight for Team Ontario, you know, in any long-term relationship, often you don't need words to communicate anymore. They are the opposite. 7 years ago, they threw out the stopwatches. They felt that they could watch Glenn, see if he added, see if he pulled back. They talk all the way down, and they go with who is the most confident at what they see.
Brent Lang with a beautiful hit and roll there. Remembering Alberta does have the last rock, so... How long have we known Kathy? I'm not going to talk to her anymore. He'll just instinctively know what I'm going to say.
They're big.
I think that is the interesting aspect of the brushing of the two teams. Carter, a great player, great brusher, as is Nolan Thiessen. We're going to go on this one to try and get it by.
And they just do.
I think you might give a little edge to Alberta as far as the power goes, but definitely Ontario. There is no duo better at judging than Brent and Craig.
It's the communication, Russ, and we saw it time and time again. Those front ends that do not communicate. You know, stones will go long. They don't relay the information. First of all, to their skip or the person that's holding the brush, but even between themselves.
Exactly. All 4 curlers on both these teams are relaying information constantly.
Gotta hit it. Okay, Stab, you're gonna go real hard. You have to go real hard. You're gonna go real hard, though. You're gonna go hard. That's enough.
There's Saville, the perfect spot to take it out the back.
I thought it would come.
You notice how far he took it too. These teams do not rely on any little things to go wrong. Glenn wanted that rock taken all the way out. You don't want something bouncing off one of those back rocks later in the end. That detail is so important for these teams.
You made the point, Russ, that as we see Pat Simmons now number 4, he was number 1 until he got ill.
Well, he's won by a mile too, Vic. He was way up there on the 90% range, which is fantastic, but certainly the infection slowed him down a little bit. Hopefully he's bounced back in here now.
It was interesting that his hit game remained number 2 ranked. It was his draw game that dropped down to number 8. And that is understandable. But here's the guy that seems to have gotten it all back on track.
No kidding. And all back on track in the last few years. Lane's teams weren't doing as much winning as he'd like to see. And it's a rebirth here with Glenn, and he's playing great. Won the car at the start of the week, and very competitive man. He will want to win this game. It's big for Ontario too, Vic, that I think if you ask them, they won't admit it, but they kind of like to see Kevin in the 3-4 game as opposed to the 1-2 game tomorrow night. So they've got incentive here too.
No, but you know, as I mentioned, they came through that 3-4 game 2 years ago. But you're right. You know, if they win it tonight, Alberta, they would get first place. So that's the hammer in that 1-2 page playoff.
Whoa. Clean. Whoa.
The possibility exists, though, and we'll explain this more throughout the evening, that if Alberta does lose and they drop to the 3rd position, that the possibility is there that Kevin could play his brother Jamie in the 3-4 page playoff. They've already met once, and that was yesterday morning, and Kevin handled Jamie quite easily. That Manitoba loss last night, though, that's the difference, you see, because if he goes to 3 losses, Manitoba would get 2nd place, Rob Fowler or Brandon, because of last night's win.
And we must say that although Alberta had a few problems in that game, you have to give Rob Fowler and that Manitoba for some full credit for the victory. They were terrific. And they are one of the teams that is really rolling into the playoffs.
Yep.
They played this spot a lot. I'm going to be interested to see what happens if they have to move to the other part of the sheet to figure out what it's going to do.
Not a ton, eh? And more handle, but not much. Good shot. Thank you.
The interesting thing about this Ontario record is that they won them. They won their games, yes. They lost to the team from the Territories, but they played 5 extra end games, 5 of them. And now they're here. They know they're in the 1-2. The question is tonight, if they do win, they are first. If they lose it, they'll be seeded number 2.
It was Kevin Cooey that described his team as kind of scrappy, that they may not always look as perfect as the Glenn Howard delivery, because he has a beautiful delivery, but they find a way to win. And yet, if you were to talk about these two teams, it is Ontario that has to be scrappy this week. They've had to do it, and they did it.
5 extra end games in a row. You know, they could go either way, but game 1 against New Brunswick, they were tied coming home also. So there's 6 games went down the last shot right off the bat. They escaped with 5 victories.
Now watch for that conversation all game. Carter is the one that is the go-to guy to give information to his skip. Often is the one to provide some confidence, some support to his skip, but definitely the information on the ice and stones.
Final stone for Ontario and Glenn Howard. In a 14th Brier appearance, making the playoffs now 13 times. And earlier this week became the all-time Brier games played leader.
See that intern 2 years
the numbers of Russ.
And Carter's, he had basically barely enough to get to the board. He still didn't roll far enough. Seems to run, and then it'll go. But don't think you'll bump this.
No. Maybe a flash.
Yeah.
So final stone looking for the blank. Kevin Cooey.
Lead.
So a wide open start to this all-important game. Final round robin draw.
Wayne has never played third before. It's a brand new position. He's been a second or a skip his entire life, and he has risen to the occasion. He's been unbelievable. When we formed the team in the beginning, Rich said, who do you want as your front? If you had to pick anybody in the province, and I said Brent Lang and Craig Saville. He says, me too. I think arguably one of the best front ends that have ever played, because they bring everything. They've got dedication, they make the shots, they have the personality on and off the ice, and we get along as a cohesive unit. They're unbelievable.
Indeed, one of the best teams, in fact, two of the best teams on the ice here in the 17th and final round robin draw. Alberta gets the blank in the opening end, so they'll control the last rock. They have the hammer here in 2, playing the Yellowstones.
Okay, Seth. Sorry, boys, I talked myself into that one.
Just here.
I think we're 2 feet deeper.
You heard Nolan Thiessen's voice. The guard is a little long, the corner guard. Now this sheet earlier today was a little bit straight. So on this side that they're playing right now, they're going to have to be careful. But on the other side, it probably will curl quite nicely for them. So you don't want to leave those guards too long.
Stuffed it. Ontario 6-1 without.
Yeah. Don't show them anything.
Well, this is a danger shot. You have to cross that red one, and it's staggered a little, not in favor of Ontario. And that's how much confidence Glenn has in this front end. Really soft weight here, hit about half a rock, and because of the proper weight, it should hang around.
Hooray! Gotta go, guys. Gotta go hard. You gotta go hard. You gotta go real hard. Real hard. Come on, you still gotta go hard, though. You gotta go real hard. You gotta go hard. You gotta go hard. You gotta go hard.
Go, Glenn, get her out. Trade that stuff right back. One more turn, and it won't go. It'll hang on. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at Northwest Territories. Need a win. They're in. You know what I'm going to say now, Kathy?
Well, I know what I'm going to say.
Okay.
For Jim Cotter, just really tough after coming off that tough loss. He played a double on his last one. Wasn't even close, and so this is a draw for 2.
Yeah, it's tough. You're right, because he had that last rock draw against New Brunswick to catch the 8-foot for a tie to force an extra. He came up light, and with that loss, took himself out of playoff contention. And that's a great start for Jamie Cooey from Yellowknife. He picks up 2.
And on this sheet, an unexpected miss by Carter Rycroft. I mentioned the outturn as we saw Ontario play it, and earlier in this end, be very straight. Carter played the in-turn, and we often say one straight, one swing, especially around center line, and that's what it did.
Yeah, that wasn't close. They're trying to go the other way. A little bit of pebble in there, too.
Normal. Weight's good. Whoa. Close. Whoa. 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 Off. Off. Whoa. Clean. Clean. Whoa. Clean. Good throw, Langer.
It's not all lost for Alberta, though. You look at those red stones, they can be used. A little bit behind the tee line, so you can draw to them.
Could hit and roll, but the corner guard is so long. They're going to try to force a mistake out of Ontario and maybe keep the blank alive.
Tee line.
What do you think?
6, 7. Whoa, then. Whoa, room.
No, don't want him. 8, 8, 8, 9.
Close for line. Oh, no.
All their weight. All their weight.
Tapping, Kevin. Off,
All
off,
there
off,
for
off,
weight.
off. Charles a week. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Great. Yep. Hard. 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 Whoa. Hard, hard,
Yep,
hard,
yep.
hard, hard,
Whoa,
hard,
whoa,
hard,
whoa,
hard. Real nice.
Beauty.
Oh, super. To get across the nose and then get the flip as well. And how it's turned around, you thought when they weren't able to get that stone out of Albertus that they might be in trouble here, Ontario, and look now, they're sitting 3 without.
Yeah, it's an awfully awkward double, too. You have to go through the corner of that guard to make it, so they might just hit the one and stay there.
Still trying to leave an angle so the yellow one is hard to remove. There's Pat's little routine. Sets himself. Playing tap weight.
Yep. Board up. Whoa.
Big board.
Yeah,
There's a great angle of it there. Watch this finish.
Hard. Whoa. 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 Nothing. Nothing.
Tough to get out.
Kick it.
Can, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Perfect understanding of angles. They're not shot rock, but Ontario without hammer has to deal with it, and there's a nice, you can't get to the inside, which you'd like to do. So Wayne's going to have to pick this across the top.
Yep. Hard. Yep. Yep. Hard. 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 Hard.
Did they hold it? They sure did. Just a little tick on the way by.
You can shift it away from the corner.
I'm going to give the skipper heck here. Watch this.
I tell you, I know.
You let my rocks go on the phone.
Sorry, dude.
Now that rock won't be the same.
Get the game.
Stop those rocks before the
I
foam, I
know.
told you.
We got to get along.
The thing is, Russ, that Wayne isn't, and we've said this as well about Pat Simmons and why he moved to join the Alberta team of Cooey. They're at both of the position of their lives where they want to have one more run at a possible Olympic berth for Sochi. And both of them agree. If you're Simmons, it's going to be with Cooey. And if it's Madal, he doesn't want to start over. He's bought into this team and the concept and what Glenn Howard and the way he wants to play.
Exactly. It's all about winning for Wayne, winning for all these guys. And there's so many, or so few great skips and great vices and great teams now that the dedication to make that Olympic bid is kind of limited to field a little bit.
And Linda, Pat was a little worried about the reception that he would receive here in Saskatoon, but it's been understood. He said he meant no insult to anyone here, but at this point in his life, this is what he had to do.
But even we saw in the background Brad Gushu from Newfoundland and Labrador, and he's imported players. People just accept. Now, if you want to be the very best in Canada, a very competitive curling nation, you have to look a little farther afield. You have to maybe move to make that great team.
Yes. Yep. Take the other turn. Yes.
Call in.
Well, they're going to roll over, and now are they grouped for a possible double?
I didn't want to be cute.
No, good shot. That's good.
So let's update you on some other games on the ice. And we mentioned Saskatchewan. Final game for Scott Manners from Battleford. They blanked the first against Northern Ontario. And Newfoundland and Labrador and Brad Gushu.
I don't mind that.
Scores one
Make the double.
against Quebec and Robert Desjardins.
See this what's the double?
Yep. I don't mind that. It's thin. Quarter or less.
It's hard to stick my shooter.
Yeah, that's the only problem.
It just goes around.
We'll make this then. Leave a little separation here. Even if you're just a foot in front of it or something, make
Okay.
Kevin?
Yep.
Well thought through. You can get rid of both of those reds, but what happens if your shooter rolls out, if you're Alberta? Glenn then tucks around that long corner, and if it is dead buried, you probably have to take a point. So instead, they're going to try the freeze again, still keeping the blank potentially in play.
See?
Now this is a newer spot, so we'll see how it reacts.
Well, Saskatchewan and this rookie team, Scott Manners from Battleford, Kathy, haven't had the kind of week everyone hoped for. But boy, I tell you what, he can go out in a blaze of glory if he can pull off a win here against Northern Ontario.
Well, certainly, and he's gained the respect of a lot of people. He's just such a great gentleman and a great Saskatchewan representative. And on this shot, he's got a tap back. Brad Jacobs tried to bury on his last. He could probably see about a third from the hack, but it is behind the tee line.
Now for Jacobs of Northern Ontario, he cannot afford a loss. He has to win and hope that Jamie Cooey of the Territories loses.
No. Off. Right off.
Needs a little tap and sit, and he moves the stone far enough. He rolls. It will be one for Saskatchewan. And just let me echo that and say that Scott Manners is truly the curling gentleman, and it's been a pleasure. Great guy.
Whoa.
Close. Yep. Whoa.
Yep. Yes.
Hard.
Hard.
Last one for Howard. Oh, squish. And out it goes.
There you go, guys. Good end, boys.
I knew Knowles it would go.
Yeah?
I looked at it.
Yeah.
I looked at it pretty hard. You had a bit of space there.
Goes again to what you've said so many times. Not to the point where you're tiring, but you've said it a few times, is that just how difficult it is to make the perfect freeze because of the weight. They'll be able to get them out, right?
Yeah, there's two beauties there by the Cooey team, and neither one of them worked. And I think he's going to give the double a try here.
He is.
A little dangerous. You hit it thin, you go by. It's a steal of one. That's a big point. So if you're going to make a mistake, you hit this too thick and you score your one. Tough double.
Pat Simmons puts the brush down. Final stone after a blank in one.
Whoa.
Thiessen, Rycroft, now a couple of late licks. Got one, got two, and there it goes. Very sharp. Blank one, blank two. Alberta still has the last rock. Well, you just sometimes think they're not going to make it, but they seem to make them all.
Even just trying this is dangerous. How much confidence you have to hit half this rock. You hit it half an inch thin, it goes underneath. It's a steal. Bang, bang, out of the ring, still gets the blank.
Two straight blanks. Alberta maintains control of the last rock, Linda.
Well, that is the go-to shot for Kevin Cooey. If you want to talk about the best in the field at those kind of hits, run-backs, big weight shots, it definitely is Kevin. Look at that hit percentage at 87% through round robin. If you want to talk about the guy that's going to hit the pin when you need it, it's Glenn Howard, 87% on the draws, number one. So they're both strong, but definitely a little bit different in those go-to shots.
You'd think, looking at that board, it's been boring. They've made some wonderful shots so far. We go to three, and once again, Alberta does have the last rock. They have the hammer playing the Yellow Stones.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's between 4.5 and 5. Really? Yeah. Sure looks faster. That's fast.
Well, that's interesting. That's red. It's top of the button and covered. That belongs to Jamie Cooey of Yellowknife, and last rock coming from Jim Cotter, Kathy.
Jamie Cooey just made a spectacular run off a corner guard into that mix to give himself shot. And so Jim Cotter trying to replicate, try to run one of his own in.
Might score two here. If he can get rid of the red shot stone. Angle it back. No, he won't. And so that red rock right there that Kevin Folk gives a unfriendly tap to steal one. 3-0. Remembering now, if Cooey wins, he's into the Final Four.
So there may be a few people muttering, do they think they can do this to 10 with another wide open end?
Well, if anybody could do it, it would be Alberta with that hitting ability. Glenn threw the first one in, and it was in a good spot, so Kevin decided to hit it. Now Glenn's throwing up some tight guards, and Kevin has the option to go around, but so far he said, nope, we're going to peel him.
Well, there's two aspects to that. I think at some point these teams that play each other a lot want to be a little unpredictable. And the other side, too, we know that Kevin doesn't want to get too complicated with those lead rocks. We think that maybe that's a little advantage for Glenn. So I guess he waits for that perfect moment.
Boy, I tell you what, if they run these blanks, this will take us back in time before free guard zone. And
it's true, eh?
Top 12, guys.
It was right in this building that Rick Folk played Pat Ryan before the free guard zone, and half the crowd was upset about it because there's just no scoring ability.
Then a couple of years later in '91 in Hamilton, again, it was Kevin Martin and Stoughton. Yes, it was.
Yes, yeah.
It was. Those two went blank, and the people started to boo, and you knew the changes were coming.
What do you guys like? Run back, I think.
Run back.
Really? What do you like? Either that or you go around. Those are the only two shots. You can't freeze.
No,
it's top 12.
Yeah.
You think you can hit it?
I don't think that's it. You think that's there? Oh, I got paid for the guard, and it's there.
Three choices, and the front end had two choices. They said either come around the one top 12, which they've been making all week, or you play the run back, which Wayne's good at. And this is the third choice. I think it's the hardest of the three. Wayne did make one in the first end in this same spot, so you should have a good idea what it's going to do.
It's a tough one. The rock is dead buried, and it's high in the house. That means once you curl by the guard, it's still hard to get the thing all the way out.
Just a great shot.
Go, get her in there.
Well, what a week for Jamie Cooey of Yellowknife. He started off so well, he got to 5-1, and then the wheels came off a little bit. He lost, and then he righted it yesterday, and now here's what's facing him. If he wins, he's in and finishes fourth. If he loses, he could be in a tiebreaker if Northern Ontario beats Saskatchewan.
Whoa. Clean. Whoa. Off.
Whoa, that's what Ontario is wanting, a roll out. It just hangs on the edge.
Wow. No choice for Ontario at this point. They have to try to close the scoring area down, roll towards that other yellow, stay in the rings. Eventually have a chance for a double.
Whoa, Savvy, your way. Go, Sav.
Anything.
Savvy.
Go. Okay. Shot, Wayne. Okay. Shot. Good shot.
I like less in here. Yeah, you want here now? Yeah, either there or board. I don't mind board, yeah.
Now, the point is that first one was thrown down the edge. There was not a lot of play there, so they played a little more weight. And here is that spot that actually Wayne has played a couple of times, so lots of rocks have been down this path.
Throw the appropriate weight. This spot has been keened up. There's less pebble, and you have to hang around. The less weight, the better.
Yep. Whoa. Clean. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. No.
Just perfect.
Alberta sits 2, remembering now they do have the last rock here in 3.
Great shooting, Pat.
Good throws.
That's normal.
Gonna try and roll right down back 8 sort of thing if we can.
Yeah.
Smart call also. You get it to the back 8.
Yeah.
It could be partially buried. And if it is back 8, Kevin Cooey hits it dead on, then there will be a yellow opportunity with Glenn's last one.
Close.
Whoa! Whoa! Close! Yep!
Whoa!
Looking for the roll. Take it all the way over. Saddle's right there, and they wanted to go back 8 center line, and it'll stop for shot.
Pretty good, eh? That's good. I like it.
That's a really good shot. It doesn't look that fancy, but if Kevin, whenever Kevin hits this, there's going to be a double.
I don't know who does. You have a sniff.
Hey?
Unless he draws. Not button, but.
There was in the first end
First
one
end.
night. They had those. Actually, yeah, they had those board weights in here. Didn't
So,
seem
yeah.
crazy.
So we should be able to hold it on this side for sure. Yeah.
So you think that's lots?
I think that's good for like just nice board. Yeah. Yeah.
Key thing for Ontario, too, they not only rolled over as far as they could, but they stayed shot rock. If they weren't shot rock, you might see Kevin just go around the center guard, and Ontario would have to just peel the outside one and give Kevin a draw for 2. So that was crucial to stay in the 8-foot.
Roll a half a rock your way, Carter.
Yeah.
That's what we're thinking. Kind of wait.
Now, in truth, he still could draw.
Yep.
If Kevin wanted to. If he wanted to set it up as a skip deuce and try and get the rock in a better spot. But he's going to try it this way.
Board! Yes!
Yep.
Yes!
Boy, did he get it started here because it's driving at that guard now. It's going to take everything from Rycroft and Thiessen to get it by the guard. Big scrub, big scrub. Oh, they did. They saved it for him. And now will they hold the shooter? There's Madaw in the perfect spot. One more turn. Oh, and maybe not.
Yep.
Madaw says so.
Try to make the big roll. We roll right over to it. So you can roll frozen. Normal?
Maybe.
Is it that straight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little inside, and with that soft weight, it started to curl too soon, and that meant it kept curling. And it didn't do one of those little spins. Wayne was very good about staying on the brushing.
Final stone for Ontario, Alberta again with last rock here in 3. Still looking for our first point.
Anything?
Nothing.
Just got her back a bit.
Good throws.
Yeah, I got her. I knew it in my hand. I nosed it.
It's one of those ones you're like, oh.
Yeah.
You know it's got to be on the center of your rock right out of your hand.
Yeah, I know, and you just don't want to throw it there.
Yeah, and it's an inch high. And
If you ever baby, you turn it a bit on the center of the rock, you flash.
Yep. Wave.
Another blank here. Sure looks like it.
Your power strummed out, Wayne. I know.
Wayne
I know.
has kicked the stone in.
If it had been anybody else,
Yeah. If it was anyone else.
So obviously you move it that far. You just had to kick it this
So
far.
3 straight blanks. All right, Kathy, let's go here to this game. And remembering again, Northern Ontario must win, Kathy, and then hope for a loss by the team from the territories. Final rock on the way. Brad Jacobs, Sault Ste. Marie.
Well, Scott Manner's final stone, he tried to throw an up-weight double, threw it up just a little bit too much, just caught 1. And so it's a draw for 2. Lots of shoulder checks from sheet D over to sheet A tonight.
Yeah, I would think. All the way across, huh? Northern Ontario keeping an eye on what's going on with the team from the territories. There's 2 for the Sioux. In Saskatoon. Think you're a hotshot? Well, log on to FordHotshots.curling.ca. And if you're on target, you could win a lease on a brand new Ford Focus S. Here in Saskatoon, every Brier participant had the chance as well by taking part in the Ford Hot Shots final, coming down to a Battle of Ontario. Easy, fellas. Wayne Middaugh stuffing Craig Saville. And then in the end, it was experience over youth as Middaugh stuffed him on the ice to become the Ford Hot Shots champion. His prize, a 2-year lease on this beautiful Ford Focus Titanium. Log on to fordhotshots.curling.ca and give it your best shot. And just like Wayne Middaugh, you could drive away in a brand new Ford. Well, there's Wayne, the Hot Shot winner, but there is this curse of the Hot Shot winner, because only once in the 18 years of the Ford Hot Shots has the winner gone on to win the Brier. That was 1999, and Steve Gould did it with Jeff Stout. 3 straight blanks. All the cameras are on all the action on the 17th and final round robin draw evening here in Saskatoon. And Alberta once again has the last rock playing the Yellowstones. The Ontario second is Brent Lang.
Great. Hard. Gotta go. Yep. Hard.
Nice come around by Alberta, and they're trying to remove it here. Ontario will not get by that guard.
Fine. Okay, that's good.
Kathy, BC has a chance here to get 1 or 2 back.
They have a chance to get 2 back. Jim Cotter made a lovely shot on his first one, went through the port that you can see on the right-hand side to corner freeze for second.
Whoa, off.
Needs to stick, though.
Right off.
Oh, boy. And that's the problem. Rolls too far. BC gets just the single. A win for that man, Jamie Cooey, will put him into the playoffs, the Final Four.
Yeah, I think so. This is Glenn's draw-off spot, hey?
Yep.
So, good spot.
Isn't that a great comment? Glenn threw his practice rocks to the draw to the button here. The whole team did, Ontario team, in their practice, which was nearly an hour ago. And Nolan Thiessen said, this is Glenn's spot here. This spot will be warmed up. That's how engaged all 4 curlers are. That's what makes it so good.
Well, it's an interesting way to try and generate points. Those 2 red ones out in the front of the house are very dangerous. Great ones for Ontario to use. So for the moment, they're going to freeze on this back one, make the back one hard to remove. But Glenn has the roll behind cover.
And the cover's his, too. That's also important. If Cooey has to run something in, it won't be his own color.
Just board.
Whoa.
Weight's
good.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. Right off.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. Nothing. A little bit, not much. Good throw.
Okay. That's.
Clean.
Good weight.
Whoa.
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 Right off.
Clean. Yep. Yep.
We've had wonderful crowds all week. Last weekend, the opening weekend, very strong here in Saskatoon at the Credit Union Center. But tonight may be the biggest, and more people expected for Friday, Saturday, and the championship Sunday. The building does seat 15,200 for hockey, but they've lost some seats for the media bench, including our broadcast position.
Hair quiet, not bad. Good throwing.
That was a good chance, and with that rollout, that's a big mistake.
Still not super fast.
Fight the 4, but you don't even have to fight the 4.
Just split center, top 8.
Right here, guys.
You have to plan it. When it's an opposition guard out in front, you have to be careful where you position this. If you dead bury and they make the run back, theirs is then dead buried behind their stone that they threw. So it's careful planning about the depth, but also how far in behind cover you want to put it.
Half buried also works in this case, because if Wayne hits the half buried rock, it could redirect onto his own at the back.
Whoa, 6. Hold it off. Whoa. Don't want to. 7.
Off the head.
7.
Extra weight means it won't break at the same moment, and that means it will take a long time to come over.
Off for line.
And very heavy.
And back to their own.
Okay.
Pat won't be happy with that one.
We said his hits have been great. It's that feel for draw weight since he's been sick. That has been the struggle.
Both of them, like you're trying to drill it.
You can't get both. You can't get both. No way.
Really?
Just nose. Can you try hit and roll? Yeah, what about a halfway hit and roll? Well,
You want to get that out, don't you?
you gotta get that out, yeah.
I think you got to throw normal or peel.
Well, I said normal. Yeah.
Yeah, normal's good.
Chance to get to the inside here. They'll never get the back yellow. It's going to jam all day, but if they could get a little on the inside, the top one goes.
Hard.
Whoa!
Close. Whoa.
You see that so often, an early scrub from Lang and Saville, all the good front ends to straighten up the stone and then let it work. And then just not quite enough to spill anything.
No, not even second shot. Third shot, I should say. Chance to sit 3.
God, it was yelled too much. I guess.
You can see the difficulty for Kevin. He's worked so hard to try and build an end. 3 blanks in a row. Now you have the chance, but everything behind the tee line.
Exactly, Linda. In some ways, Glenn's in great shape here because he's got the 2 raises he can use.
Pack. Okay. And you're just trying for dead nose?
Yeah. Weight's good.
Might be telling, but very few. You could, on one hand, count the number of players who are still wearing their jackets on the ice tonight. And Pat Simmons is one of them, so he still may not be totally well, maybe a little chilled.
This one's not going to be perfect either. Good grief.
And it'll slip. And now you look, and I think it looks like Alberta is just lying the 1. Sitting the 1, center line back 8. Second shot is the red. Tested around the 530 position.
Well, that's a huge turnaround because the 3 would put the pressure on Glenn. Now everything deep. You have your own guards out in front. Kevin is not going to like the fact that Glenn can get in there first.
Not at all, and he can't do much about it unless he runs a red one back.
3. 3.
Now earlier when Kevin Cooey was looking to position a stone in behind, he said half in the open because of the fact it's red out in front to be run back. Now if you're Ontario, you're going right behind.
Exactly, absolutely. And if Kevin runs the red back, same theory as Linda mentioned, if the red goes straight back and hits it dead on, then Glenn's still buried and throwing.
Line's good. Clean it. Line's good. Yep. Line's good. Root. Whoa, if you can. Whoa,
Gotta go away a little. We can wait a little.
Off if you can. Yep. Gotta be 4 foot. Go. Hard.
Kathy, Scott Manners has a chance here maybe to bring the house down.
Well, he does. It's a tricky little pick. That stone just thrown by Brad Jacobs, probably 3/4 buried.
Yeah! Shot.
Scott Manners from Battleford battles back, takes the lead.
We better be after this though.
There it is. 2 for sure. Maybe that's real close.
2 and 8 coming in. With Coach Kay Montgomery, if you're just joining us, 2 female coaches in this year's Tim Hortons Brier. The other being Nova Scotia and Helen Radford.
What a thrill. The fans are still great and cheering for their Saskatchewan team, even though they're near the bottom of the standings. What a great crowd.
I think it's Russ in the way he's handled it and presented himself.
Oh, fantastic. He walked, first day we were here, he walked over and introduced himself, and just a great guy. And they've had some tough losses and a lot of pressure when you're the home team first, Brier, and they just keep kicking away, and a great deuce there.
Aren't they third at the back?
I don't think Kevin's very happy with his quiet weight shot. If you make contact with that front, it's not going to improve a lot.
Not sure you could possibly sit to.
Who's got these two? Looks like them.
I'd say so, yeah.
This looks harder from down there.
Does it?
I'd like to see Kevin hit it, this red one dead on, a little on the inside, and then when you make the red double, your shot rocket guarded.
Which way you want to go with it?
Just
across?
No.
Nose?
Just like this. Try and
put that.
Okay.
Right.
Nose hit.
Just a sliver on your side. Hey?
No, probably not. Probably
Just
actually
about
nose.
there. And if you make it, you actually have some protection for that back yellow. Glenn will draw around again, but at least it's a yellow one that's out front. It's easy to miss this a little high side and run it right back onto the yellow, though.
Whoa. Just rolled up.
Ooh.
Surprisingly, that one curled. Even with that up weight, he does chip out another red, but doesn't change it a lot. That red one at the back 12 is still third shot.
You make it good, it's not gonna matter.
Like right now, he's got a tough 2.
Oh no, it's got to buy the back one.
Well, I know, but
What I'm saying is it's overburied, so the best you're going to do is here. It doesn't matter if it jams there if he counts this one and that one.
oh, it picks it clean. I see what you mean. What else do you do, guys?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying that's...
Yeah.
Be a guard.
Guards.
Good guard.
Which one do you like better?
I think I like this.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think I like
Just through it, right?
Yeah.
Just got to give it 3 more feet.
I get a little bit more ice.
Right to it, eh?
Yeah, right to it.
We got to be touching.
It's interesting to watch teams. Again, back to the respect
going off, it
factor
goes
in
on
this
red one.
game. Sometimes you look at angles and you take just a moment to look at them and say, no, it's not a problem, but you're playing a guy who makes so many run backs, so many big weight hits. They're taking that extra moment just to make sure they haven't missed anything.
Whatever you want.
Let's guard it.
Fine.
It's the guard
If I
versus
hit
the
this wrong, you
freeze.
can get them all.
Yeah, if we're a foot short.
That's the same ice.
Other red, too.
That's the ice for that.
Okay.
There's the respect again. Glenn's afraid if he comes around light, it might set up some type of triple for 4. That's the original reason he wanted to freeze to the back one, but it's a tough shot, so he's just going to throw the straight guard.
Just a few feet different. We swept that quite a bit.
Okay.
So by contrast, if Ontario and Howard respect the hitting ability, Alberta would respect the drawing ability of Glenn.
No question about it. The finesse shots, the hack waiters, absolutely.
Let him move.
It's not like the Glenn can't hit. It's not like Kevin can't draw either.
At the end, you're going to have to go at the end.
But that's playing to their strength,
Whoa.
right?
At the end, full center at least.
Whoa.
Yep. Whoa. Clean. Whoa. Shot, Glenn.
Great shot, Glenn.
Oh, Skipper.
Boy, Skipper.
No, it's guarded.
Boy.
That works, I think.
Yeah, well, you can still try the same thing, but it's only for 3 then.
Probably not, eh?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it is still tempting because of the strength of the run back, but the fact that it's an opposition rock, we're not going to take any chances here.
So as you look at this, run back would be what, Russ? The red onto red to drive out the other red in the
other
gap?
red, yep. And if you made it absolutely perfect, you might get 3, but you could give up 2 just as fast.
Seems to be a
So finally it is a success, a victory for Ontario. After 3 blanks are on the board, they are forcing Kevin Cooey to draw for 1.
Same as where he threw that free.
He's also going wider than anybody's been, so this isn't a gimme.
And the buzzword of the week, fresh. The pebble out here is fresh.
Yep, exactly. So, and sometimes you overthrow this or you oversweep it, waiting for it to die.
Needs a piece of the red. Needs a bite of the forefoot.
Good line.
Thiessen closest to the stone on the left. Carter Rycroft out in front. This is a big scrub, and they are not going to get it there.
1 red.
1 red it is. Steal of 1. Kevin Cooey gets caught by the path. A couple of smaller curling fans, and thank you very much for the compliment. A free preview of Juicebox Music for Kids is on now. A music video channel featuring parent-approved videos from today's biggest stars such as Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, Selena Gomez. Contact your TV service provider for details. It's a lonely single point, and it comes in the 4th after 3 blanks, and it's a steal of 1 for Ontario. Funny how something like that, when these teams are as knowledgeable as they are, that something like that would catch the likes of a Kevin Cooey, that fresh pebble.
Well, it's a bit of a guess. He probably knew it was there. The team probably knew it was there, but how much slower? Is it 2 feet slower? Is it 6 feet slower? And he thought they could get it there with the brushing, and either underthrew it or just didn't guess right. But the real mistake that end was Pat Simmons. If Pat hits, he sits 3, and who knows what happens.
He really missed both of his shots. That put them really in a tough spot.
I don't care. Time wants to rip it. This is okay though. Yeah. We'll force some 9 or something.
Hard. Hard.
Gotta go.
Hard.
Gotta
go, guys. You gotta go.
Gotta go.
Go.
Yep, you got it.
You don't want to give Alberta a chance.
What?
They didn't get the first corner guard out there, and now you can peel them. So want to make sure they all go away.
Where are you going?
Just halfway.
The same as yours.
Pat. Gotta finish it up. Yep, gotta go.
I got it.
You think back to the hit and roll in the 3rd end too, where Kevin makes his first one. He probably scores 2, as opposed to a blank.
Not too bad there, eh?
A couple tiny mistakes.
Yeah.
Again, the importance on sheet A, Kathy, is a win for the Territories and this man, Jamie Cooey, and they are in. What's going on?
Well, Jamie Cooey rolled on his first one. That set up a double opportunity that was made by Jim Cotter. This is a hit against 2.
Whoa. Clean.
That's good. Brad Chorskowski, Robert Borden, Tom Nogler making up the team from Yellowknife. 4-1.
Clean. Whoa. Threw that really good. It's just too much ice.
Corner guard. 5 guys.
After last night in Alberta playing Manitoba playing very well. Some bad breaks for Kevin Cooey, picked rock, that sort of thing. You must be wondering a little bit about what you do have to do to win, because it really was cruise control at the start of the week for Cooey. And now it feels like you're just clawing and nothing's really working. Yes, your opponent's playing well, but you're just making that one mistake to not get the score.
It's hurting your confidence, too. If you don't feel you can score, then when you are down, you really feel under pressure. Pat Simmons at 91%. Seems to be getting over the problems he had earlier in the week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't touch him.
That was for you.
I didn't trip him like he tripped me.
Yep. Whoa.
Did you ever put the broom down for Wayne and he was already sliding out at you?
Don't
He's
get me
fast.
started. I'd say 50% of the time.
Took his own ice.
Oh, yeah.
Thought he'd be close.
That's straight there.
Yeah, this is straight there.
So watch Carter Rycroft here.
Whoa.
Did he hurt himself there? He's showing no signs right now. We'll watch for Carter now.
So far, he's not showing anything, so hopefully he didn't hurt himself.
Stick the run back force. It's a theory.
I would like the roller. He hits it dead on. Kevin Couillard tried to duck around it.
Whoa. Whoa. No. Your way, Lang, or anything. Anything, Lang, or anything.
What?
Well, the good news is if he makes it high, it's the exact same
shot. Yeah. Low, I follow him in. Force him.
Well, this is a situation that we've seen before. Maybe it's time to change things up if you're Alberta. You're not getting anything done. You've had the last rock since first end, and we've only seen 1 point, and here we are in 5. Would you take one to see if you could change the momentum a little bit?
Well, I wouldn't take one on purpose, Vic, but I think I'd play the come around here. It's he's I guess worried that if he puts it light, Glenn will hit it and force him. But yeah, I'd be tempted. And you play the come around. If Glenn makes a great freeze, then you take your one. It wouldn't be the end of the world, not at all.
Okay, because I'm actually thinking that you might just take one, but you would never give up that last rock. Eh?
Well, I don't think I'd do it yet, but I wouldn't have that string of blanks and not consider changing it up, Vic. I think you've made a very good point. I think the only thing was that this end, they didn't get the corner guard in position, so I think Kevin will give it one more go.
Get it there.
I think it depends who you're playing to. Like Glenn's around 97%, so that would be a short run back. He probably makes, if he makes it really good, it's dead buried. No, you can't blank.
Oh, nice work.
I don't have to tell you what's going on, do I? Not in this building. You know that something's going on, and even Pat Simmons had a little peek over his left shoulder because that's where the Saskatchewan Northern Ontario game is being played, and we'll update you, of course.
I think it's wonderful, though. You don't always see that. Just tremendous support.
This is the heart of curling country, and that's what makes it so fun for us as well. Final stone here in 5. Another blank.
Hard.
Oh.
Goal.
No. Not this time. Not this time. Not enough there. And so that's 2 mistakes in the previous end. Getting caught on the path, giving up the steal, and now missing the blank, banging it on the beak. And so let's go over. That's why the Saskatchewan crowd, primarily here in Saskatoon, was cheering. Because you see, Saskatchewan is sitting 3 as Brad Jacobs from Sault Ste. Marie, the Sioux Curlers Association, in a must-win for Jacobs in his 5th Brier appearance. He must win and then hope for a loss. by Jamie Cooey from the Territories. So a draw against 3.
Okay. All right.
For the single, they'll go to the break. And Saskatchewan, Northern Ontario are tied at 3.
The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by World Financial Group. Proud to be a sponsor of the Season of Champions. Your dreams, our strategies. The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Ford, official automotive partner of the Canadian Curling Association. By Capital One, what's in your wallet? And by M&M Meat Shops, hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle.
Back just in time to go live. 5th end, BC against the team from Yellowknife, the Territories. Remembering now the Territories lead 4-1. They win and they will be in. And Kathy, final stone coming up from Jim Cotter of Vernon and Kelowna Curling Clubs.
Well, he needs to make the double and he needs to stick.
Yep. Hard! Right up!
Gets them both. For the single, they'll go to the break 4-2. The Territories leading.
Good sweep.
In our game, lots of blanks. Only 2 points, and both of them coming off mistakes by Alberta's Kevin Cooey. A missed draw and a missed blank attempt, so we're tied at 1. And Kathy, you've got Glenn Howard.
Glenn, you know you're in the 1-2 game. If you beat Alberta tonight, they go to 3-4. You may never see them again. How big of a deal is that to you?
The big deal is to try and get Hammer. We want to win this game. We want to win. It doesn't matter who we're playing tonight. We want to win every game. And if we win this tonight, we get Hammer in the 1-2 game. It really doesn't matter who we play.
You talked to me earlier this week, some frustration with ice and rocks. Where is your headset now?
Couldn't be better right now, Kathy. The Icemen have done a phenomenal job. I know they struggled with the building a little bit, and I was talking to them, and I think they got a handle on it. The last 3 or 4 draws have been amazing. Today, it's fantastic. I think you're going to see some great shot making.
We saw Wayne Madaw struggle a little bit in the beginning of the week. He seems to be coming on. What's been the change?
That's Wayne Madaw. He's just that good. He's able to figure it out. And struggling is 82%. So, you know, he's making all the shots like we have to. He's in the game. He loves to be here, and he's a good guy to have on my team.
Thanks, Glenn.
Thanks, Kath.
Well, you would expect the numbers to be pretty high with this kind of game, are they?
They certainly are, especially for Ontario. The mistakes have come from Alberta. There was the mistake that Pat Simmons made in 4 that took away the end, but definitely Kevin Cooey. 98% for Glenn Howard, 75% for Kevin Cooey. That's the big spread at the moment.
Well, the past few years at the Brier, there's been a group from Calgary called the Sociables. They enjoy the game, but today, here, they're using all the 5th players involved in tonight's game. And you can see being very sociable. Alberta opened with the last rock in the first, and they've had it all the way through the first 5 in a 1-1 tie. And so here in 6, the hammer for the very first time in the game belongs to Ontario, playing the Red Stones. But look at this. First stone goes in. Second stone goes in. And we just don't expect it at this level.
Well, in particular, there were supposed to be guards. That's not even close. And then there was a rollout on a hit, so that was even missed. This is a big surprise for our top 2 teams. And Russ, you explain that one.
Well, for 23 years, I've listened to Linda Moore say the ice is chamois in the 5th end. It's always a little quicker, and they didn't get your memo, Linda. Deep, and just just not characteristic. The first one with Nolan, you know, you want to be top button, possibly. We're not sure he was throwing a guard, but Saville slid into the rings, and unfortunately for Alberta, they rolled out a chance to sit 2.
Clean.
It's definitely quicker though in that 6th end. There's no question about it. Always has been.
So nothing like the game we thought we'd see. Fairly open play. 4th end was cluttered, but mistakes were made. That's why it was a steal. I don't know.
It is curious. I mean, last night, I hope you got a chance to watch Manitoba against Alberta. It was one of the finest games that we've seen in many, many years. Just the shot making, the strategy. And then by contrast, you get these two teams, two of the best in the world, and they do this. I don't know, pressure the moment? I don't know.
Well, I think in the case of Kevin, and I just ran into Glenn in the fifth end break, and he said he's pretty boring, eh? And I think with Kevin, he's not much different than that other Kevin out of Alberta, that he wants control in even ends. So if you notice, he played very defensive. He hit a rock in the rings in the third end. He did it again in the fifth. He tried to blank both. He wasn't successful in the fifth. So he doesn't want Glenn to score in 6. He'd like to have Glenn score in 7. Then he would have a hammer in 8 and 10.
Yeah. I don't throw corner.
I'll get it back there.
Simmons has taken off the jacket now.
Worth it against these guys.
Wayne Middaugh here in 6.
That should be there.
Yeah.
There is one Alberta stone in the rings, in the house. It sits back of the 8 foot.
Whoa, whoa, you can. Whoa, you can.
Line's good.
Line's really good.
Close. Line's really good. Line's really good. Line's good. Curls ahead. Perfect.
Yep. Beauty. No boy winner. Pistol.
Oh, dear.
That's pretty good.
That is.
That's pretty good.
Can fly out. Really good. Yeah, the house is lively again.
Now, here's the point, Vic, that you cannot make a better freeze net. It's even angled a little bit towards the big side of the circles.
Now, that little separation, does this help Pat Simmons here and trying to get it out?
It would. But now they've decided to hit it on the nose, I believe, with a softer weight.
Board weight.
It would go, but you'd have to really throw it hard.
Trying to keep more rocks in play, looking to try to force Glenn, it appears.
Board up. Whoa. Whoa.
What a great freeze.
Whoa. Yep. Hard. Real hard. Hard.
Wow.
That's even closer together.
There was a little separation between, and still a little, maybe somewhat less.
Those are very difficult shots. The draw is extremely difficult, but because of the in-between weight of those hits, straight at first, breaking at the end, it's really hard to get the nose hit.
Whoa.
A little more. 6.
Spills off.
Just a hair in out on you.
You could try and push ours over there too a ways. I
So
think
now the challenge, how do you get separation so you don't leave it up?
If you throw like here or something, you got lots of places you can hit it then to push that.
Like
so.
blank here is fine,
Yeah.
right?
There you go. There's the comment, Vic. The blank here is fine. I think that's what Kevin's been thinking all along. He wants to score his points in the even ends. He got forced in 5, so he's going to try to blank this one, or possibly force here. That won't be bad either.
Half and try and push ours way over to the 12 foot.
They're going to hit right towards that camera angle and punch their own and try to have some separation. That's safer than rolling the other way. You roll out and then it is a blank.
Sticking around.
Okay.
Hair more. Little big.
Clean. Yep. Whoa.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Hard.
Hard.
Real hard.
There it goes.
Okay, fine.
Took a little chance on that one, cut the ice down to make sure that they didn't roll to the outside and it broke too much.
He just throws it.
And out it goes.
Bit of a struggle for Kevin, a little bit personally.
Now during the break when you left the booth, I said to Linda, I just think that he's a little off his game when you consider the mistakes. Just 2, but they've resulted in 2 points, 1 for each side. So heading towards another blank. Sure looks like it.
Any draws other than the one he missed by a mile? Nice to keep that like that.
Should have lots of time.
Yeah,
we should have
I was
lots of
going to
time.
say they're banking time in case there is a complicated end anywhere in this game. Kevin didn't go down to put down the broom, and Glenn's walking down to the hack.
Clean. 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 Yep. Yep. Go ahead. Go ahead. Roll the bit.
Oh, skipper.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. Clean. Clean.
Just clean.
We said that Glenn's best shot is the draw, but we know he can hit. And no problem.
So another blank. That's 4 blank ends in 6. The record is 8, and it's been done twice. So here we go again. Draw 17, final night of round robin, and Team Ontario sits on top of the standings. It should come as no surprise. It's a movie that we've seen many times before. For 7 straight years, a Brier record. Glenn Howard has brought his team to curling's toughest competition, and every single time they've made the playoffs. But if Howard appears to be Superman out on the ice, his kryptonite is most definitely whoever is wearing the blue and yellow of Alberta. Consider the numbers. Against everyone else but the Albertans, his record in those 7 Briers is almost, well, inconceivable. 72 wins, just 9 losses. But when it comes to facing his biggest rival, teams from Alberta have made him appear as a mere mortal. His career record against Alberta, just 2 wins, 8 losses. Twice, Howard has met Alberta in the Brier final, and both times against Kevin Martin in 2008, Kevin Cooey in 2010. He lost on a last-shot draw to the button. And don't forget that the team that kept him out of the Olympics in Vancouver was, you guessed it, Kevin Martin's team from Alberta. Even for the very best in the world, there's quite often one opponent that just seems to have their number. And for Glenn Howard, that team has always been dressed in blue and yellow. It is a curious thing, Russ. And so tonight, as you know, you heard Glenn say to Kathy, we want to win it. We want the last rock in that 1-2 page playoff. But it's also, maybe for him, a message game.
Yes, I agree with that, Vic, for sure. He would love to beat this Alberta team. And let's not forget it was this same team that drew the pin in an extra end to win the Brier over Ontario 2 years ago. So, yeah, he obviously respects any of the other teams in the playoffs, Robbie Fowler and possibly the team from the territories, whoever comes through to get to him. But, yeah, this is a big game for them.
Yep. Same as me. Whoa. Weight's good. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
Be careful here. This is where Kevin hit and rolled out. It'll finish.
Whoa, off. Go.
Oh, nice shot.
Hey. Tucks half a stone. Did you, Linda, have a team that, or a province that you had difficulty against, or not really?
I don't remember that, Vic. I mean, that was a while ago. Let's face it. I don't
there weren't as
think
many
so.
provinces then.
Nice. Wow. Oh, goodness.
Yep.
Sorry, Linda. Just up here in northern Canada. Yeah. Oh, they were just building the railroad. And we could just keep hammering away.
Okay,
here.
Vic, we're the same.
Yes, we are. For you, Russ, was there a team that stands out for you?
Yeah, there was a little while there where it was funny. The first 6 or 7 times I played Kevin Martin, we beat him. and then we couldn't beat them for love nor money. It's just funny how it goes. You get stretches like that. We've had good luck against Stoughton for whatever reason that is. Doesn't make any sense.
Quick,
and lost to Alberta lately at the end of my career quite a bit. You know, it's just funny how it goes.
I do remember spurts, that's for sure.
Clean. Line,
so a little mistake by Ontario. They jammed that run back attempt.
Yep. Whoa. Yep. Oh, good.
I just can't kill everything, that's all. Leaves the guard.
Yeah, it's a corner guard, though.
I don't mind going. Yeah. No to.
I could normally see Glenn play the come around here, but maybe he's lulled into that hitting game here. That's a pretty long one. Normally, Brent could get around that. Well, this certainly isn't wrong either, especially if he makes it.
Shooter.
Okay. He does make the double, but he'll leave his shooter center line guard. All right, Kathy, 4-2 Territories lead, and that yellow stone on the button belongs to Cotter of BC.
It is. That's his final stone. There is definitely a port to go through, but it is one of those weight shots, Vic.
Line's good.
It's interesting. I was chatting earlier this week with Terry Shea, the coach of the team from Yellowknife, and he said no one would ever teach that delivery, of course, of Jamie Cooey, but it's the release point, Russ. We often talk about it with golfers. And if you can make it work like that to pick up 2 more,
Get over curl.
a win. And Jamie Cooey is in.
Over curl, if anything. Just let it die.
Making a lot of shots over there against BC.
Okay.
I didn't like going that way.
Turn tack.
Well, that does have huge curl, and that's what Carter was saying. When you have a long guard and you choose to turn where there is big swing, quite often we see it poke out the other side, and that's what it did.
Isn't that wonderful curling ice from Hans Vutrick? It's just amazing that you're worried about it coming out the other side. That's just really good.
Close.
It's on the knee.
Jim, guys.
The first one can't curl like that.
I don't know. It busted.
I don't love that one.
Okay. Buy that.
Okay.
Good hack. Yeah.
Brent talking about his stones. One run back worked and one didn't, and he didn't really think there was a problem on the throw.
Good hack.
So they're still talking about information on those stones.
Well, as we mentioned, Kathy, Northern Ontario must win. Then they need a loss by the Territories, so they're keeping a peek over there. Final Rock is on the way. Saskatchewan, Scott Manners. So something's wrong with Kathy's mic. Final Rock for Saskatchewan out of Battleford, playing Jacobs at Sault Ste. Marie. And he didn't push it far enough. It looks like Steele 1, Northern Ontario 4-3. They lead.
Yep. Whoa.
That was a very nice touch by Alberta.
Little less.
Not much of that rock showing now.
If we can.
Just fine shot making here. Just grazing by that guard like it's not even there.
Got a beauty. It's a great throw, Wayner. Atta boy.
Atta boy, Wayne. Good job, Wayne. Nice toss, Wayne.
Thanks.
Beauty.
So that was a big loss earlier today for Northern Ontario to drop them to 5. Now, all they can do is a tiebreaker. That's the best they can do. And to do it, they must win over Saskatchewan. And as mentioned, the team from Territories and Jamie Cooey must lose.
Burn board.
Whoa.
Never.
Whoa.
Off. Clean. Whoa, never.
No.
Hard. Hard. Go hard.
That's that spot hasn't really been kind to Kevin. Remember in the third end, he was setting something up and over-curled in that spot. Sometimes you wonder if history is still in that brain and tells you something on release.
Glenn's just seen this shot time and time again. He'll make a conscious effort to try to get to the inside here and sink one in behind. It's a little more room than Wayne had. It's a little bit easier.
Maybe a little bit, Wayne.
Clean. Hack. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Clean. Clean. Whoa. 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 Off. Off. Off.
Looks real good.
Whoa. 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 Yep. Yes. Yes.
Whoa. Oh, looks really good. As it flips in behind. Maybe shows a corner on the
pretty good, man. I think it's in there pretty good, guys. Thanks.
Great shot making this end by both teams.
Try and get it over buried here.
Yeah.
It's just you've seen this spot so many times to follow it, but
if you got good line though, it's going to be tough to follow it with weight. So
yeah, like that ice.
Yeah.
Kevin would love to be in front of the tee line, but I don't think he can be and be buried here. He has to be back 4 maybe. Needs to be buried.
When you think of what he said, they think he can actually overbury from this side, from the in-turn side, across and overcurl.
That's how great these rocks are. It's just so much finish. 75. This has to be good speed, though, and you cannot tick that one in the rings.
He's played 2 draws. Remember, one was perfect, and the other didn't even make the house.
We can wait on this
right now. Line's good.
Room. It's close. Look there.
Room. Clean. 8.
Whoa then.
Room.
Whoa.
Gotta go.
Yep. Go ahead then. Yep.
Hard line. Come on.
Decent. Rycroft. Got to get it by that stone top edge of the 8. Big drag.
Go.
Oh, and they'll get it to the top button.
Lost its handle, Vic.
Didn't quite finish.
Wow, that was made too.
Perfect.
Spinning good there. It's starting to slow down. All of a sudden, it starts to go the other way.
And they thought it had a lot of weight, so I'm not really sure what happened to that. Seemed to be okay and suddenly stopped.
Yeah, they're yelling 8, so it might have been something under that.
Yeah.
Same shot they played 100 times.
Clean.
Yep.
Clean.
Yep.
Clean. Just clean. Whoa.
Waist perfect.
Clean it. Clean. Whoa. Up.
Long way curl.
Yes.
Enough to punch this.
Yep.
Now they've got to get by their own stone too. They do, to the face and out the back. Ontario. In a game where we've only seen singles, this is an explosion. They get 2. The Skins game is always exciting, but next year more so. The Dominion All-Star Curling Skins game. New qualifying format. You, the fans, will determine who will play. You'll vote for your favorite Canadian curlers online, tsn.ca. Top 4 skips. We'll then select the remaining 12 players through a draw, and we'll have that on TV for you January the 17th of next year. So go to tsn.ca/skinsgame for more details. Not only have we seen few points scored here, but that too by Ontario. For them this week, despite their record coming in of 9-1, that's also been a bit of a rarity.
It's been very rare. Up to this point in 10 games, they'd only had 14 deuces or multiple scores with hammer. That was only 28% of the time. Glenn is usually one of the highest, maybe at 35 to 40% of the time with hammer. He has been fairly successful with stealing, but he hasn't been as successful with the deuces.
All right, so here we go to the 8th. Russ, Alberta does have the last rock playing the Yellowstones, and you said that this is where We expect Kevin Cooey now to go all out.
Well, he'll make his move for sure. He was hoping for a 4 and 7, but not a 2. It was supposed to be a 1, and the gloves will be off here now for sure. They have to score 2 here.
And what's different about Kevin Cooey's approach when he gets to this stage? He's played a lot of corners and it hasn't worked. He actually guards the stone that was played first. So rock in by Ontario. The guard is out in front of that stone, and then he expects the play to be around that guard, and he expects to have to play some taps.
I don't mind that. I don't mind the hit and roll.
You don't want to hit and roll for now? Like that? Whatever.
I don't
well,
like
he's going to freeze, then we got to peel it anyway.
I think you peel a guard.
He's going to guard for a while.
Oh, you try and run the double?
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Okay.
That's the call. You peel the guard, and you might get them both to start with, and draw the play into the rings. We watched Rob Fowler do that, and it worked very successfully this afternoon.
A little thicker.
Thicker than that.
A little thicker than that.
I think the reason Kevin does that, there's probably a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is some opposition teams will think it's guarding my rock. I will play the hit and roll in the rings, and that leaves more rocks for Kevin Cooey to work with.
Yeah, I agree.
Brent Lang. What's he got? Runs it back. Oh, and just across the top. It still does surprise me, and I hear what you're both saying. But I said to you earlier this week, it still does surprise me that when you've got that free guard zone that more teams don't use it. Put your rock out there rather than playing around in the house and tapping things back.
Well, he put the first one out, Vic, and Ontario couldn't remove it. They made a great come around with Craig Saville, 2 of them actually, and then they went into the rings. But because it bounced open, then it allowed Glenn to try the double.
Where are you? Two.
Just back to that same point I've made a few times, Vic, that I'll say again.
Yes.
Just because I can.
Right up.
Team with the hammer only gets 1 rock out in front that cannot be peeled. That's the one disadvantage of the free guard zone rule. The team that is trying to steal gets the extra benefit of 2 guards that cannot be peeled. And that's the only hard part about the way the rule is positioned at the moment.
That's why they had a lot of talk this year and even tried it once for a 5 rock rule. For, in this case, Cooey could throw 2 guards that could not be removed.
Nice guard position there, right in front of their stone, Alberta stone.
Just clean. Whoa.
Theory here, even though this isn't shot rock, because of the score the way it is. Kevin knows what Ontario's up to. So they're going to prolong drawing into the rings and getting 2 yellow in the rings too soon because it allows Ontario to make a double.
Whoa. Yep. Yes. Hard. Good. Pat.
Wayne Madon.
Straight peel again. They're not going to play around with that rock in the rings yet.
Clean. Just clean.
Over on She Day, the team from the Territories leads, and sitting 1. Does BC have a chance to make the double for 2 here, Kathy?
Well, sure he does, and it's even marginal to tell Vic who is the second shot. Jamie Cooey missed his first one. That created this opportunity for Jim Cotter.
Cotter missing the opportunity earlier today when he had a last rock draw come up light. Would have kept him alive, but instead he suffered a 6th loss. And so now trying to play spoiler, remembering that if Jamie Cooey of Yellowknife wins the game, he's into the Final 4. If he should lose the game, and Northern Ontario beats Saskatchewan, there would be 1 tiebreaker.
Hard. Right up.
And roll.
He'll roll too far. And now we'll take a look at those stones around the edge.
Right up.
1 yellow, they say.
Thank you very much. 6-3.
A little softer.
A little bit of noise in the building, but that's not going to slow down Wayne Maddaw. 1 more peel.
Nothing will slow down Wayne Maddaw.
We're Talk about people on a roll. He is looking very good right now.
And that roar coming at a time when it's maybe not so crucial. If it was more of a, if there was a draw, then the brushers need to look up, be more attentive
What are we doing?
to what's going on.
Freezing the
Far one?
far one. It looks like a pot.
Great shot for him there, too, right? He corner freezes that one, which he's trying.
The last Pat's freeze here. That's Kevin's freeze here.
Kevin's freeze here.
Talking to the hack end about how to get the stone there. They're trying to angle freeze so that the yellow one is hard to remove.
Pat Simmons. Alberta does have the last rock. Playing the yellow stones. Down by 2 here in 8.
That's good.
In a very quickly moving game.
No, line's good.
Go. Gotta go wait.
Right here. Freeze it.
Want to keep the rock on the inside corner of the center line.
They're trying to urge each other on. They're seeing it's light.
Get it there. Get it there.
Oh, that was perfect line.
That didn't slide very good, did it?
So the roar was for this. Saskatchewan picks up 1 in 7. And they are now tied with Northern Ontario at 4.
Oh, I'm thinking he's doing this. That's pretty thin. We're here.
It's pretty good. Nose?
It's pretty thin.
Could roll right over to there.
Might be able to get
Nose
him.
isn't bad. Mind you,
He just makes a skinny double, and then how do we get out of it?
I know.
Or we
That's
just
what
do
I'm worried
this.
about. It's real skinny though, boys. Like,
It's
that's
pretty
gonna be way
skinny.
up there, but if he makes it,
That's really skinny. And this one's almost in the way. Hit and roll to here. What does he do?
What if he goes the other way, though? He makes, well, I guess if he doubles and rolls that way.
Then he freezes,
freezes.
right? I guess. If we go here. Okay. Nose it.
Nose is pretty good, I think.
You guys not like the roll?
If we nose and he freezes. Yeah, you got to
That's
hopefully
a tough freeze.
We can
Yeah,
nose.
I don't really
it's
want
tough,
him to
and
make
we can
that.
always nose it.
Yeah.
And he won't have any deuce.
Yeah. I kind of like nosing too
Nose
much.
it?
Yeah.
I like him for him.
Okay. What are you going to throw?
Board.
Glenn?
Board.
Forcing him to
What they're thinking here is put this right on the
like
center of that rock. Then it forces Cooey to play the double. And if Cooey plays the double, it's what they call a thin double. It's very tough to stick that. It's really easy to hit it too thick and maybe even take out your own yellow at the top of the 8-foot here.
And freeze to a red one.
Here.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad.
We're just thinking he probably has to do that double if we nose.
It's not bad.
If he does stick it, I'm only getting one of them out. Maybe.
Okay, we'll try and roll it here.
If he rolls up at all, it might be a nose.
But if he hits and rolls to there, we're not liking
so
it.
he's rolling off
really
up
not
here.
liking that.
That's horrible. You're right. If he just hits and rolls to there, we're not happy.
Okay.
Let's do that. Let's
Okay.
roll right in there.
Try and roll right into
Yeah.
it.
Same weight, board weight.
Board still?
Oh, let's go normal.
I think you got to throw normal,
Okay.
Glenn. You're going to roll too low. I'd rather
Okay.
roll high.
Okay.
Normal.
Well, the first 2 points scored, a steal for Ontario and then a hit on a blank attempt. Are they reflected in the numbers for Kevin Cooey?
Well, they are. Interesting how many hits both skips have played, but Glenn Howard 98%, and the mistakes made by Kevin Cooey, those have gone on that scoreboard.
The player numbers are brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Just sweep that yellow Alberta rock a foot farther would have changed the whole complexion of this end. And now it's a hit to sit 3. They're just trying to decide where's the best spot. Respecting Kevin's hitting ability here.
Thought about rolling it over as much as he could, and he'll sit top edge of the 4.
That's pretty good.
And they do. Ontario
good, you're right.
sit 3 without last rock here in the 8th.
Still pretty good.
Sitting 3's never a bad thing. That ever warp, eh?
Yep, never. Never.
Fights that line, as soon as it goes.
No. Make that and. The doubles. It's not that easy, Pat. What
Not a lot
of.
Yeah, there's not a lot of, if it was here, it'd be a lot easier, but it's pretty steep. Like, it's even on this side a little bit.
Because if I rolled it, mind you, if I roll way over to here, and then he noses,
And you're playing
I've
this
got
one.
that. I mean, he'll play this. He might leave us a nose hit on that. I mean, we might have something.
You could play this.
Huh?
You could play this.
But I'm just thinking if I make this double, I mean, we've got 2 ways to make doubles, right? This way or off that.
For sure, yeah.
And I mean, if he rolls to here, I've got the
You might have a
hammer
nose
it
hit.
on the nose.
You might have a nose hit, yeah.
I think we got to play into it, eh?
Yeah. What weight are you thinking?
Well, I think here up.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Yeah. Like that ice?
That is the dynamic that you were talking about earlier, Linda, that, you know, Pat Simmons has taken over as the third for the team, with Blake McDonald stepping back from the game. Now, McDonald is here as the fifth player for Cooey, and he did win that championship with him, the Canadian Worlds, 2 years ago. But Carter has, do you think, more of an input now rather than Simmons, or is Simmons' dynamic with him a little different?
I think Carter has a lot more input, and you notice Ontario is full democracy. It's really Carter and Kevin. The most of the discussion is those two. Nolan never comes down the ice.
Right on.
He's got to get across that center line.
Yeah. Hard.
And he did. And he does spill them both, rolls the shooter away. Very close for shot Stone.
Just a great shot. Perfect speed control. Had to cross the line. Made the double thick so they saved the shooter.
Nice throw, Kevin.
He's got to make a really good roll.
There's a little word from Blake. Just the personality differences between Blake and Pat. Blake was very animated on the ice and got very involved in the discussions, and Pat just doesn't.
Like if you roll.
Imagine if that yellow one was a foot farther.
It's going to be a gimme.
Glenn would just hit this and then be conceded
roll
deuce.
Here, and it's going to be easier. You're going to roll right to there.
What about really hard? Roll right in.
No, you're going to roll behind it. I'd either just try and nose it and make it, or we try and make the big roll. Whichever one do you like.
Yeah, I got to be second, though. Right, and he's got this easy one here. Nose isn't even second. It's real close.
Yeah, but then he's got to roll his shooter.
Yeah, but it's there.
Yeah, it's there. What do you want to do?
I don't know. The problem is that, well, I hate to go to there, and it gives him an absolute gimme.
Try and roll it here.
Try and go way over there?
Try and roll.
Okay.
I'm going to throw.
Board?
I like that call, too, Linda. Good thought process. Why give one of the best hitters in the world, maybe the best, at this point in time, a chance to make that double?
We're going to try and roll right over if we can, yeah.
Try and roll behind the yellow kind of thing?
If we can,
yeah.
Board.
Board, okay.
We talk about rolls that are difficult. This is difficult. Kevin's put it in a pretty nice spot, and it's a spot that is pretty straight, but you start throwing board and you're really not sure how much it will curl right at the end.
Is there enough room to roll underneath?
Turn board.
Well, even if he gets it half buried, Vic, they'll be laying two, and there might not be a red double.
The final stone for Ontario.
Right off.
Here at 8.
Right off.
Now that is a straight spot.
And right on the nose. And that is not third shot or second shot. It is third shot.
Huh?
And so it looks like
got to roll, though.
Alberta may get a chance here for the deuce.
Now, it's not a piece of cake, though, because you have to hit the yellow one, Vic, in a certain direction to try and get two, and you may not be shot over that one that's on the far side. So it's tricky either way you play it.
Two choices. You can come down here and play the double, try to stick it, but you could also come down here, raise your own, stick it, and because of that proper angle, your shooter will roll this way.
This is the way things have gone tonight for Kevin. He hasn't had that precision that we normally see. Definitely has to get the shooter to move.
Does that look good, or does that look tight?
It should, Linda. It looks like there's enough angle, eh? From our vantage point, if he hits it 3/4, it'll roll towards the center line.
You like just there?
Sure better not hit it dead on.
This is not a... He's got a...
Yep.
Just board, Kev?
Yep. I think we can hold it here, eh?
Yeah, I'm just not sure why board.
Well, what are you thinking? I mean, it's...
Well, board, you have to hit it exactly a half a rock. With control,
I could roll in a bit better.
You got...
That's
with
what I
some
was
weight,
wondering.
You have some options.
So I think they've decided on a little more weight, try and get the roll a little easier.
Nobody told Pat Simmons, though.
No, that's funny, isn't it? They just moved the broom.
Is that assumed now?
We'll soon find
You know
out.
what you say about assume.
Control.
Causes lots of trouble.
Final stone.
Yep. Yes.
Right now, Ontario is shot rock. Little angle raise. Got to roll the shooter in for a possible 2. Across the nose. Now you got to roll it in, and it's a beauty.
Great shot.
Oh, there's proud dad, huh? Brett Cooey, happy 65th birthday. His one son, Kevin, is into the Final Four. His other son, Jamie, could be there too on this final night round robin draw. We're at the Tim Hortons Brier in Saskatoon. Time now for the M&M Meat Shop's Final End Challenge. After the game, go to finalend.ca. Enter the secret word for a chance to win a trip for 2 to see the 2013 World Junior Curling Championship in Sochi, Russia. The first 100 entries will have a chance to win a $50 M&M gift card, and all participants will get an M&M discount. We will give you that secret word shortly. So over to Shide. This is live just in time for the final stone. That rock partially covered. Sitting T-line 4 foot, that belongs to BC. And now the final rock coming up from Jamie Cooey of Yellowknife, Kathy.
And he's played a lot of hits tonight. This is going to be one of his first draws, and we've seen that this has been a bit of a challenge for Jamie over the course of the week. Needs full 4 foot, biting a bit of the button.
It's a 3-point game right now. Remembering as well that a win by Jamie Cooey puts him in. He'll grab the 4th spot. Brad Choroskowski, Robert Borden on the brush. Tom Nogler thought about jumping out for a moment. And did they cook it? No, it'll stop back for a single. For a 7-3 lead. Four blanks, and then a couple of deuces. So here we are in a 3-3 tie. And here in the 9th, it's Ontario that does have the last rock. They have the hammer playing the red stones. Couple of center line guards. Couple of Ontario stones already in the rings.
7, 8, whoa, 7, whoa, yes, 7, yes.
Got to get it by.
This is high risk. This is Alberta trying everything they can to force a single.
Hard then, gotta go, gotta move it. Come on, go. Hard.
Nice throw.
Too good.
I found that last end interesting, that last shot of the last end, because as I said, my concern with Kevin was his precision was lacking, and then he talked a lot about the weight and seemed really not sure of it. And there was Carter one more time saying, Skipper, just throw it.
Yeah.
Don't overthink them. And that's been a lot of the problem for Kevin Cooey when he's struggled this week.
Remember what Carter said in the Brier final 2 years ago.
Fantastic. Just throw it.
Stop trying to miss them and start trying to make them.
Throw it the way you can.
You gotta try to do the same thing, I think.
Yeah. Keep the angle, eh?
I think you got to.
I think you gotta try the same thing, I think.
Yeah.
I think so.
I'd love to move those reds around a little wee bit. Obviously, that's dangerous because you don't want to hit the guard.
Just a bit more weight.
That was your slow rock, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you think back, Randy Ferbey, of course, started his run in 2001, and he won 4 of 5 years. And then Kevin Martin with his back-to-backs in 08 and 09. Cooey in 10, interspersed there with Stoughton last year, and of course Mark Dacey and Glenn. But it's been dominated. And all those teams then, of course, were in Edmonton. But now, of course, Cooey is out of the Glenclo Club in Calgary.
Red to the back that way so that we have this intern.
It's not very good angles on our front seas all that, eh?
You have some curl in this spot if you ever wanted to go around everything.
Well, sure, I can do that too.
You like to go around everything? Do you like the tap?
I like the tap.
I think you got to get that second walk behind the putt. If we don't do that now, I don't think we're going to have anything later on. I like the tap. 2 shots.
So there's Blake McDonald, who was part of the team in 2010, Canadian world champion.
Keeps our angles
Well,
better.
I'm just thinking when he hammers it in there, I guess something of ours should stay.
I think you got to think that when you tap this, it's going to be wide open, right? And that's actually probably a good
Our
thing
shooter?
because it'll take away him getting everything later on.
Like keeping our shooter high side.
No, the red one wide open, you think?
Yeah, like tap it into the open so that you can makes A, it makes your freeze better, and I think B, the other thing is it'll make it so it's tougher for him to get everything. Because if he hammers that red into the top, the yellow into the top red, everything with the back, like he'll never get that going back, right? It'll come this way.
Well, we only need a guard to make him force him to one. Doesn't matter where the guard is.
What are you saying, like back 8?
Back 8 on the yellow. Same shot.
And roll your shooter to here.
Or you can keep him lined up.
I was thinking the out turn.
Well, either way.
I like this.
I do too, Linda. I don't know how you tap those rocks in the outturn. They're totally
Wait, what was
behind the
Blake
guard.
talking about this?
Yeah.
I think at one point
No.
they might have said draw around with the outturn to try and get second shot and see if you can get a mistake out of them, but I never
No, you have
thought
to.
anybody could play a tap with that outturn.
Inturn's easier. Plus Carter just played it.
This looks pretty hard to me.
Okay.
Try to jiggle those reds around a little bit.
Just through this. Just a hair more weight, eh?
Okay.
This is a very delicate shot. They don't want to lose that guard, that is for sure.
Yep. 9. Hard! Real hard! Hard, guys!
Boy, this is a huge effort by Thiessen.
Get it in.
And Simmons, and
Keep
they
going,
will
keep
get
going,
the
keep
rub and
going.
roll and spill it in and grab the edge of the 8.
That was the danger
Okay.
there.
You know, it's funny the numbers that come up because further to the fact that domination of the Edmonton teams, when was the last time a Calgary team represented Alberta at the Brier? Remember offhand?
Eddie Lukowicz.
Nah, yeah, you're right. Name's right. Name, number?
94.
4. And when was that's right, good for you. And when was the last time Calgary team won the Brier?
Eddie Lukowicz, 86.
86.
I helped him win it.
There you go.
Like the other turn. I don't really care.
There you go. So it's been a long time since Calgary has represented Alberta at the Brier.
Whoa!
Really close.
Whoa!
Solid. We'll win.
Whoa!
I think that whoa was a little wide on release.
Whoa! Get off there.
Oh, man.
Okay, sorry.
Sit down for it.
Okay.
Let's go over to Northern Ontario, Saskatchewan. Kathy, what is it? What they always say, you can only control your game. And so Northern Ontario can't look over and see what the team from Yellowknife is doing. Final stone, 4-4 tie. Brad Jacobs from the Sioux.
Well, there's been a lot of looking tonight, Vic, but it really doesn't matter what goes on sheet A. He needs to take care of business on sheet D. A jam by Scott Manners on his final stone means this is a draw for 2.
Oh boy, and here they go. E.J. Harnden jumps out now. Ryan Harnden, Scott Seabrook. This is everybody trying to drag it for a couple. Get it to the 4 for 2. And they will. On Northern Ontario. And Jacobs needs to win and then hope for a loss by the team from the Territories. Pat Simmons.
Board.
You've been handed a little gift if you're Alberta. You want to make full advantage here.
Clean off.
No rollout.
Never, ever, ever, ever sit there. Okay.
Just curled enough because there's a yellow double there, but it looks like it'll jam.
Hack. That one's in a really good spot.
Same turn as me?
Is that the line to make that shot?
You could do that, Wayne. You could do that.
What?
He's freezing.
What, if I roll Barry?
No, we're rolling Barry. He's saying we could roll away. We'll roll Barry.
Like that?
I roll Barry.
Okay.
That one, yeah.
You roll behind cover, sit first and second shot.
And Wayne can smell blood here. This is a smarter call. You roll the other way. You take out that back one that's in such a good spot. It's in front of the tee line, dead buried. You sink another one here. It'll be tough for Alberta.
Hack. Yep.
Sure.
Whoa, 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 off. Close, close. Whoa, 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 off. Off.
Curl a mile.
Not curling very much right now.
Okay. That's fine.
That's good.
Does avoid the jam. No tick. Pushes it out the back.
I think that probably is rolling to the other. Yeah. It's pretty good, Wayne.
Good shot, Wayne. Hey.
Having
Guys
looked
like
to
that?
see if they nose hit it, if it'll be third shot.
Same weight.
Yep.
You'd think they'd play the double in this case, but to play the double, you roll right over towards that yellow, sets up a double. If Ontario makes that, they're sitting two.
If you just chip that and just.
Here more.
Hard. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Never. Yep.
At Simmons.
Hard, 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 hard.
He just grazes that shot stone. Top edge of the 4. Ontario, remember, does have the last rock here in 9.
They thought they might just tip that red one.
I don't know. Maybe I should have made. Maybe I should have.
Well, if he does that, you hit him, you probably lie. You can almost make that, can he? I know it.
Probably not, but
You roll too far, he's probably freezing.
I think I like this.
Okay, I don't mind that. I don't mind it.
Jonathan, the exact same weight?
Yep.
Almost the
what's
same
he
line.
gonna do?
Yeah, the
He's
rock,
gonna run.
the
He has
rock's
to.
over a bit. Play. It's over a bit.
Very appreciative crowd, of course, here in Saskatoon.
Same weight? Yeah.
Good call. Controlling that front. That's the secret here. You could hit the open one on the side, sit 2, but that leaves an awfully dangerous Alberta rock on that center line.
Whoa, close. Close. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Just hack.
Whoa.
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 Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Go, Brett, go, Brett.
Get over. Oh.
Yep. Get it out. Get it out. Okay. Can we see it all?
Yeah, just.
Hope so.
I think I lost its handle. I lost its handle. It's exact same. I think we were about there.
We were a hair more
Really
right
impressed,
there.
Russ, with the weight control here. So just enough.
Just
not overthrowing it.
And those are the hardest shots to teach. People can get draw weight, people can throw a peel, but it's that little in-between stuff, the finesse shots, I call it, the hack weights, the little downboard shots. Wayne almost made that perfect.
Close to the same line as 2 ends of guys.
Yep.
So they were talking about the draw they played into this position last time going this way, 7th end, where the rock lost its turn, and they thought the ice was probably the same.
So you can be as deep
Try to draw around everything.
Full back 4.
Okay.
Got to be shot.
Have to be shot rock. They'd like to be a little behind the tee line here.
Line's good. Well, he should be there. Root, clean it. 7.
Wait only. Whoa there.
Clean it. Yep. Yep. Gotta go wait.
Room. Clean. Yes. Hard line. Hard.
Boy, it's really diving at that stone.
Gotta go, guys, for weight. Hard. Gotta go.
Boy, they got it by.
Straight up.
Great judgment. Thiessen, Rycroft, a little pat in the back. Why not? They drag it top 4.
Yes. Hard line.
Well, they seem to be fooled a little bit on these draws, thinking it had lots of speed. No, it didn't, and it barely got by.
Good shot.
Nice job to get it as far as they did.
I would love to have that a little bit deeper. It'd be partly behind that red one so that this top raise wouldn't be quite as available. This is a wide open hit, really. Sneaked by the yellow guard, straight back. Alberta's in a bit of trouble.
He can get to the nose, can he?
I think so, Vic.
Yeah.
There it is. There's a good angle. It's not easy. They've played this a million times. They played it in the 5th end almost every shot, and Wayne just played it twice.
Glenn Howard and his first here in 9 does have the last rock. Shot stone right now belongs to Alberta.
Like to.
Gotta get to the nose. Get to the nose. Right to the nose. And out the back. What a beauty.
All you gotta do is get out the 8 foot to be good, right?
Beauty, Skipper. Attaboy. Attaboy, Cliffy. Great shot.
Once again, that quiet weight, beautifully played.
Just come over at the end.
Yeah.
More importantly, he's got the exact same shot, which is even easier because of that red one at the top of the 4-foot. If Kevin tries it again, I don't know what other choice he has.
There's a plow coming in there, right? His?
Yeah. Oh, he's got to go around everything.
Yeah. It's real good. I can take a run on it.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Gotta give you a bit more, right?
Yeah, just a sliver more weight.
There's twice this rock's come up noticeably light on Kevin, so we'll see what happens here. Might be a little sharper rock.
Peeking into at British Columbia with their last rock coming up here in 9 and facing a couple of stones from the territories, Kathy.
And BC is really not playing that bad. Jamie Cooey is just seeing everything tonight. Jim Cotter buried it, showed him a little piece. He picked it out.
And he'll run it by. It be a steal of 1. Northwest Territories, Yukon and Jamie Cooey are into the Final 4. What a story. And what a birthday present that is. Both his sons will be in the playoffs at the Tim Hortons Brier. And listen to the crowd. Kevin knows it too, but his concentration, of course, is on his game because the possibility now exists. Should he not win this game, he could play his brother in the 3-4 playoff.
Just didn't quite finish like I thought it was going to. It almost lost its handle again, I thought. It kept curling this time, but perfect speed control by Kevin. He couldn't go any deeper. It's the best he could do.
You just need to touch it.
Through. Whoa, clean it. Yes, through. Yes. Whoa.
Final stone.
Clean it.
Wade's perfect.
Wrap it around. Wrap it around. Tap it back and sit and sit and sit for 3. We've seen more out of Ontario here in this game. The deuce, and now a 3 by Ontario. Well, what do you think? How do you think they're feeling? Yes, the first team to qualify for the Brier playoffs from the territories. Here they are, 7-4, and those are your 4 playoff teams, and yet to be decided is whether Alberta will stay in the 2nd spot or Manitoba will move up. Alberta must win. If they drop down to 3 losses, Manitoba would be given the 2nd spot. Tom Nogler is a native of Halifax. What a call that is. Did you see? We're in the Final 4 at the Brier. And it wasn't the kind of week for Newfoundland Labrador Brad Gouchou. He comes up a winner over Quebec, 7-3. He finishes at 5-6. Robert Desjardins from Chicoutimi goes to 4-7. Here, you can have this. I'm done. And now we want to go over to Saskatchewan. Northern Ontario, final stone in 9 for Battleford. Scott Manners, Kathy.
Well, for Saskatchewan, very different. Northern Ontario shoulder checking all night. Saskatchewan just wants to end this week with the win. A chance to tie it right here.
And for Northern Ontario and Brad Jacobs, of course, the shoulder checking over their shoulder to sheet A. And they know now they will not be in the Final 4. They needed to win, and they needed a loss by Jamie Cooey of the Territories. Linda, we talked about Ontario, their lack of scoring, and at a time when probably they need it most to clinch that 1-2 game. They come up with a 2, and they come up with a 3 in the 9th. Lead at 6-3. Alberta has Last Rock playing the Yellowstones here in 10.
Alberta trying their best, but those guards are not lasting very long out front.
Well, it's time now for the M&M Meat Shop's Final End Challenge, and the secret word is burgers. Right after the game, go to finalend.ca, enter that secret word burgers for a chance to win a trip for 2 to see the 2013 World Junior Curling Championship in Sochi, Russia.
Solid effort out of Team Ontario here. 91% as a team.
It's what we were talking about right at the beginning, how you go into the playoffs, how you play at the end of the week. And for Ontario, it's been that upswing. For Alberta, it's been a little bit of a slide.
Line's good.
That's a worry. I think partly we were talking about it. The Stones have bothered Kevin in the last few games. Some things have not gone quite right that way. But tonight, there was a clear difference in the way this game was executed. Kevin Cooey had a plan to keep it open. You and I thought maybe that they wouldn't do that, shouldn't do that. And if you're going to do that, you cannot make a single mistake. And they did make some mistakes.
Whoa, yep, whoa, yep, whoa. Good.
Nice shooting, guys.
Cowboy number 2.
Guard it, I think.
I think one thing that the teams will be happy about is the break. The fact that none of these teams that have made the playoffs will be involved in a tiebreaker. Pat will need a little bit of a rest. He'll get it tomorrow. He'll get a chance to match some rocks. That will be a nice thing to do.
It's an excellent point. He could certainly use a day off, that's for sure. And keep in mind, Kevin Cooey won the Brier from the 3rd position before, so I don't think they're worried. They're disappointed, but I don't think they're worried.
So time now for the game story, Linda.
And it was that open start, maybe not the best start for Alberta. In particular, when Kevin Cooey came light in 4, the draw for 1, he gave up the steal, and then it was just all Ontario, it seemed. They had everything, all the rolls go their way. Beautiful shot making, a 9 for that 3.
The game story brought to you by M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle.
Just gotta touch it. Yeah, that'll do.
Oh, just touch it, he did, and he'll push it over to cover the 8-foot.
Perfect. Push your broom in the air.
Does Kevin Cooey look at those first 3 ends when he had the hammer Russ and blanked them? Does he look at the way, was it his strategy, was that his plan to do it, or just it didn't set up for him?
I just think it didn't set up for him, and like I said, I think it wasn't going to set up in the at the far end. He was going to try to score in the even ends, and that didn't set up for him either. And he was patient. He waited and waited, and I think one of the biggest mistakes is when he tried to blank and he didn't. And that gave control after an hour and a half to Team Ontario, and they made it pay in the 7th. A slightly bad break for Kevin, though, if you remember. He tried to come around and lost its handle, and Glenn made a good one for 2. But Kevin sinks that in there. It might have been a different score.
Probably need like
10.
It's a great team. They're going to be tough.
Yeah, maybe 9 at least. You got to
spin on it, and hopefully it.
You only have to think back, Linda, 2 years ago. 3-4 game. Guess who was in it? If he goes on to lose this. That's where Cooey was before he went on his run to take the Canadian and then on to the World Championship.
Lots of weight.
And nearly missed that, and that would have been interesting. You'd sink another one, and Glenn would have to make a good shot to not give up 3.
Got to make these count here. You got to make them count. You're down by 3, trying for the split. No, nothing will go.
Great try.
It just won't go.
I do think, I'll take the stand that I think he should have been more aggressive early. We have that stat, but if you get a deuce in the first end, you earn that hammer, you get it early, you win a lot of games. Brier and Scotty's play, so see how he plays it in the playoffs.
We wondered if Rob Fowler would be here. I know that he was heading out for dinner with the family, and he's come to the stadium, to the arena tonight to watch, and waiting now to see if in fact it will end shortly.
Yep. It's clean. Try, Glenn.
And with that, Ontario has run Alberta out of stones. They'll win it, make the final 6-3. Ontario will clinch first place. Their record is 10-1 after round robin. Alberta falls to 8-3. And with that loss, they will drop now into that 3-4 game. And it will be a battle of Cooey's. Because Kevin will now play his brother, Jamie. And Rob Fowler, because of the win over Alberta last evening, will now take over that second spot, and the 1-2 game will feature Ontario against Manitoba.
Awesome.
What a night. Yeah, get this. This is history at the Brier.
The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by World Financial Group, proud to be a sponsor of the Season of Champions. Your dreams, our strategies. By Scotty's, proud supporter of women's curling for over 30 years. And by Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Wayne Middaugh, Glenn Howard, they are through. They clinch first place. They'll have the last rock. Finish with a record of 10-1. And so now they will play Manitoba. Rob Fowler out of Brandon in the 1-2 page playoff. While it will be all Cooey. Kevin against Jamie. Alberta against the Territories. And Kevin now facing the media just outside the entrance to the ice level. I think they're asking him what it's going to be like to play your brother in the Final Four of the Brier. here in Saskatoon. For Northern Ontario and Saskatchewan, they're the only game on the ice left in this final round robin draw. 6-6 tie. Northern Ontario saw their hopes of a tiebreaker go away with that win by the Territories. They do have the last rock here in 10, playing the Redstones.
That's good, right there.
This game must be very tough to play for Brad Jacobs and his team. Difficult to start. Even tougher now when they know they don't have a chance, but they've played very well. If you look at the numbers anyways, there's some big ones on behalf of Northern Ontario. E.J. Harnden at 91% and Brad Jacobs at 94%.
There's some numbers in here not cheering for him either. Not that they don't like Brad. He's one up-and-coming star, absolutely for sure, but against the hometown squad here, and they're playing him tough.
The one on the button is a dangerous one, and taking the chance that the next one won't be better. Removing the one in the house.
Great shot. Just by hanging around, it's a rock they can use if they have to.
At least want to make my last shot here, anyways.
Top four. He peels, we guard. We'll hope for the best.
He won't peel them.
Okay.
Top four. Suck one in there. Make it good. Top four.
And so the streak, or the non-winning streak, will continue for Saskatchewan. Their last Brier win, 1980. And Rick Folk, Scott Manners, and the team from Battleford started so well. They came out of that opening weekend last Saturday and Sunday 2-1, and people were saying maybe. Then they just couldn't put it together. And come into this game now 2-8 against the 5-5 team from Sault Ste. Marie.
Gotta stop. Off.
He's saying, I want to suck one in there. And it'll stop in time. Center line. Back four.
You just put bite 4 here on that side.
Just like back
see how much
12.
you can see.
I think back 12 will be fine.
And for Brad Jacobs,
Really the same shot.
on the Sioux Curlers Association, in a 5th Brier now, but as a skip 2 years ago, he won the bronze medal. Last year, he went 7-4 in London and didn't get a sniff. 7-4, didn't buy anything last year in London.
That's unusual.
And now trying to finish on the plus side of 500.
I was thinking back line.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, you said just back, like back 12. Hack?
Through the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Great angle there. You can see about half. So with a nice soft weight here, control the shooter.
And enough to push it, and yes. For Jacobs, though, Linda, what did we say earlier today? Just the fact that he got off to a great start and then struggled. Really confidence, I think, most, to my mind, for Brad Jacobs throughout the
Yeah,
week.
the 4 losses in a row and the confidence slipped. I mean, it was great that he got it back on track at all. Sometimes it's just feeling like you're never going to make the shots you want to make, but they did very well.
That's great, eh?
Stick one in there.
The Saskatchewan team may have faltered, but the fans never gave up support.
Needs a little more ice than last time. Over curled and would like to be lighter, so it should curl even more.
It's a tough shot, but you know he just wants to embrace the experience. He said that right from the start.
Whoa! Told his dad back in 1989 here in Saskatoon, one day, Dad, I'm going to play in the Brier. This is his moment. His last stone in this 2012 Brier here in Saskatoon. Scott Manners picked up Ryan Dice, Mike Armstrong to the top four.
Absolutely perfect spot. Any farther would be an easy hit off the red Northern Ontario rock. Just perfect.
And Tyler Lang, who lost his voice midweek. And now it's a draw to grab a piece of the button for the win for Northern Ontario.
3 or 4 inches deeper, and there'd be a very easy double. Perfect positioning.
T-line. Easy. Line's great. Go for weight. Just on the tee. T-line. Put it on the tee. Line's
Brian
fine.
Harnden on the left.
Right on the tee.
Scott Seabrook right on the tee. Needs to bite the button. Needs a piece of the button. Needs to bend for him. Needs to break. Lang is right there. Will it come and stop? No! That one, says Scott Manners. That one will make Saskatchewan a winner. Scott Manners, the curling gentleman, will pick up a win. Make the final 7-6 Saskatchewan. I love this night. Final night, round robin of the Brier. And Ontario looking very good, 10-1. Manitoba will finish second. Alberta and the Territories for the first time as Scott Manners and his team from Battleford acknowledge a very appreciative crowd.
Hey everybody back home in Lloydminster. Hope you're watching. That was a good one. Finally got the steal in 10. Right on.
So it will be Ontario and Manitoba in the 1-2 page playoff. Of course, the winner goes right through to Sunday's gold medal game. Alberta and the Territories will play in the 3-4 game here in Saskatoon.
The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Roll Up the Rim to Win. It's time for Tim's.
So here's what's ahead. Coming up Friday, tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern Time. It will be the 1-2 page playoff. It will be Ontario against Manitoba, Glenn Howard against Rob Fowler. So till we talk with you again, our thanks to all the curlers who are leaving us at this stage, and we look forward now to a wonderful championship weekend. What a day it's been. This Canadian tradition, the Canadian Men's Curling Championship, the Tim Hortons Brier, on Canada's sports leader TSN. Sports Center is next.